Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Talkin Kop. It's me, Chris, back, and I'm here with my two mates, Ashley and Kevin. We're giving Kevin his full title because it really upsets him. So we're going to preview Liverpool against Atletico Madrid, which is basically like me and Kev needling each other. Ash, while Kev is stewing there, you looking forward to this?
I think it'll be a really good match just to kind of kick off the whole Champions League thing. I think it's a team that is part of the European pedigree. It'll be a tough match, but I think that we have a pretty good history against them. We were just talking about this. I'm hoping that we'll be able to kind of grind this through, though.
Yeah. And Kevin, are you looking forward to seeing Simeone?
Hey Ashley, how are you? You all good? Did you enjoy your show earlier on?
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know, Ashley was on show about 9 o'clock on Patreon app, and for anyone who's looking to be involved in that, the link is in the QR code is on the screen.
Yeah, if you want to listen to me talk shit about referees for a whole hour.
Yeah, and in fairness, it's only going to cost you a pint a month. It's well worth it just for that alone, but there's so much more to be going on it. Christopher, how can I help you, son?
Are you looking forward to the game?
No.
It's
Atletico Madrid. It's Atletico Madrid. I don't think anyone ever looks forward to playing Atletico Madrid or anything associated with Diego Simeone on any level whatsoever. But Champions League is back. It was great tonight. Come home from work, have my dinner, sit down, watch the 5:45 game, watch an 8 o'clock game, and there's plenty of quality on. And tomorrow night's going to be. Tonight was good. Tomorrow night's going to be no different. Always look forward to the Champions League. And the thing is, with the format the way it is, you want to hit the ground running and try and build out your points early and see what you can do later on and give yourself options. But yeah, it's a tough one to be out the gates with. Let's not mince our words here. You know, despite their league form, Atletico Madrid are a ball ache of a side, and they're not what you want to be doing. I suppose if you have to play them, as Ashley said before we come on air, if you have to play an Atletico Madrid side, play them early. You know, get it out of the way. You don't want to be coming up against this lot in the knockouts.
And especially give it a couple of weeks' time when they'll have the likes of Alvarez and a few of the other players who are missing back. Because look, he's been there. His style of football isn't everyone's cup of tea, but unlike some of the other people we would perhaps call, very direct, very dull football, he's been there 14 years. He's one of their most successful managers. He's gotten 2 league titles against, the Barças and Real Madrids of the world. He's got to 2 Champions League finals. I mean, this is the one trophy that he wants because he's won everything else, so. And Ash, I've seen a few videos going around. There's a little bit of history between Slot and
there is
Simeone. I don't know the full details behind it, but it didn't like do a estimate.
So Arne Slot has met Simeone in European competition. He's lost both times. So I think that Diego Simeone is sort of like the Forest of European competition, in my opinion, for Arne Slot. So, and I believe there was a quote that I can't actually 100% say is true, but Simeone apparently came out and said that when Arne Slot spoke to him after the 2 matches in Europe, that Arne Slot said, the next time I face you, the score will be very different, or something to that end, where he was kind of alluding that, he'd be able to kind of make up for the losses that he had. So there is a little bit of history there. There's a little bit of needle there. I mean, Atletico have a really good record in Europe. They're very, very difficult to beat. I think they've only lost 1 of their last 10 opening games of a Champions League campaign, which is tough. They've won 5 of them. So it's not, wins across the board, but they do know how to set up to be difficult to beat. So I think that much like the Burnley game, much like maybe the Everton game, and much like the Arsenal game that we've kind of faced, this sort of falls into line with a little bit more of the same, where it's going to be like a difficult team to break down. It's not necessarily going to be free-flowing football, but I do have faith in Arne Slot to get this done.
Well, look, quite Kev. He's a bit fiery, old Arne Slot, isn't he?
Yeah, I watched his press conference earlier on, and he alluded to the games that he managed for Feyenoord against Atletico, and I think he was talking about one of them that he lost 3-1 on Griezmann, basically saying, "Look, we didn't have as much." He said, as much as he loved his players at Feyenoord, they weren't on that level. But I think going back to what Ashley said about those comments, that whether they're true or not, who knows? But it kind of gives a nod to the fact that the next time I'm going to be playing you, I'm going to be on a level playing field with you, with players at the caliber that you're at, or maybe even a little bit better. And then we'll see what happens. It's kind of like, you're getting a scrap with someone and he gives you a bit of a dusting, and you come back 6 months later after finding out what you're doing, and you're like, yeah, now I'm going to have you. And that's what it is. It's like he's going into this tomorrow night with an 11 or a squad that's on a par or better than what Atletico have, even on Atletico Madrid's best day. So it's going to be a good feel out for him, and I think he knows what he's going to get. They're going to play 2 up top, and that's going to be interesting to see how that works.
Different challenge, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is different, and saying it's 2 up top, it's not. On paper, they're playing with 2 strikers, but one of the strikers, Antoine Griezmann, these days ain't running behind you. He's going to drop off, and he's going to be that nightmare for Gravenberch to deal with, and it's going to be a massive test for Ryan Gravenberch tomorrow night, because I don't think there's anyone better in the game at doing that role than Antoine Griezmann. So, yeah, there's lots of little subplots in this one. The main one being Champions League, Anfield, under the lights. We're back at it again, and we'll give it another crack. But yeah, it's one to really look forward to. Not look forward to in a nice, pleasurable. And we're going to have an entertaining game of football. No,
no,
it's just going to be an absolute war of attrition, and it could go all the way.
Probably the perfect build-up when you've got a Merseyside derby on a Saturday. To be honest, it's in some ways this run of fixtures we've had of Arsenal, Burnley, Atletico Madrid, Everton. It's probably quite good prep for Slot. It's going like, well, they're all going to play deep. They're all going to be horrible to play. So, it sort of gives us a what to play for. Just go up and level each time. Atletico are the best of the 3 we played so far. So, Kev and Ash,
yeah,
I'll give you a couple of minutes while I do a bit of admin. In total, there have been 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players who have played for both Liverpool and Atletico Madrid. Can you name them? Kev, no Googling. So while they're doing that, as Kev's already mentioned, please become a Patreon. The QR code's on the screen there. So scan the QR code, try it for a month, see what you like. We're able to do a lot of things behind the paywall, such as Ash's show, the Ref Watch, where we're actually able to show clips. We do a post-match reaction on YouTube, but then we do a post-match extra later in the evening where we're able to do clips of the games and talk around goals, talk around incidences, and then we do a bit of fun with that. And also talk about 3 o'clock games, look at our partner, NordVPN, details in the description below, excellent security, and help you watch things that maybe that are geo-blocked in your country. So give them a go. Also helps the channel out really well, so all good. Ash, have you got any names for me?
Aren't I? I'm on mute. Sorry. Torres and Suarez are 2 off the top of my head.
Yes, there's 2.
And then Garcia?
Louis Garcia is correct.
Okay.
Kev, are you going to join in, or are you just
I couldn't give a flying fuck.
I agree with Oshin.
You drop this stuff all the time, and it's
Cinema Pawn Gold.
The Cinema play
in there.
The Pergola played for Atletico.
He did. That's what he went after he left us.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, fair play.
Rodriguez didn't he? Maxi Rodriguez.
Maxi did, yeah.
Yeah, we bought him from Atletico.
I mean, the one that sticks out like sore thumb is Fernando Torres. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, do you remember the build up when we signed him? It was like it was that generation's version of today's big, huge reveal.
He's what? It was like it's probably the closest you're going to get to what Isak is. You know, Suarez. You know, when we signed him from Dutch football, we were all quite excited about him because of what he'd done in the World Cup. But yeah, Torres probably was the first time we felt Liverpool looked a bit serious with some of the players they were signing, especially off the back of losing the Champions League final. You felt we just missed something clinical in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean,
but he still had it all to prove, mine. I mean, he was doing it in Spain, but he wasn't really at. I mean, you had for Spain at the time. You had Raúl, you had Morientes, David Villa were the main players for the Spanish national side. Fernando Torres was coming. And I think that's the way Liverpool were signing players at the time. We weren't signing a country's best number 9. We were signing a country's third best striker or fourth best striker, hoping to develop them to kick on. You know, we did it with Pepe Reina. You know, Pepe Reina wasn't Spain number 1; he was a Spain number 3. You know, and
it's still mad with Pepe Reina. He played in 2001 with hair. It's the most wild. It's the wildest thing when you look back and go, "Oh my god, it's Pepe Reina."
Yeah, it's just one of those. Fernando Torres is the one that sticks out like a sore thumb to me. Maxi Rodriguez, we never really got the best of him. You know,
Suarez sort of went when
Suarez only went to Atletico because he was pissed off.
I think that was out of spite, honestly, and I kind of love the fact that he went out of
he left out of spite and then won the league that year.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was like the perfect story arc.
That was Luis Suarez if you were to encapsulate Luis Suarez in a transfer, it's that one.
Yeah.
That's his entire career in a transfer.
Captain Gobshite.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
It was basically like a physical representation of
fighting
someone.
Right. The other 3 are quite niche.
Didn't Jota play for them at youth level?
Yes,
youth level. He's not on LFC history's list, but yes, he was there at youth level. I'm going off LFC history, but yes, because there is going to be presentations for Jota from the 2 clubs.
Madge is asking about Michael Robinson. I think Michael Robinson played for Real Sociedad.
He's not on LFC history. That's what I use as my go-to for information. So the others are one for you, Kev. Danny Pacheco.
Yeah.
Okay.
Danny Pacheco.
Yeah.
Emiliano Insua.
Yeah. I really had high hopes for him.
We broke him because we overplayed him.
Yeah, he had a really good career though. When he left Liverpool, he had a decent career. Danny Pacheco was one that you saw him coming through the youth ranks, and you're like, this kid is going to score goals. He's just going to be it. He's going to be a breakout star. And then, it just didn't happen. He was just one of many of that generation of youth player that we brought in. The vast majority of them never worked for us. They all went on to have decent careers, but he never really
kicked on. Joe.
No, he never did. No.
The best one of that group was probably Suso a few years later.
Yeah, Suso.
Who had a very good career.
Yeah.
Last one, Javier Manquillo. Remember him?
Oh, the fullback, yeah.
The fullback
went to Newcastle,
Went to Newcastle. He was dog shit.
Yeah, he went to Newcastle, yeah.
We had him on a 2-year loan, and after a year, we said you could have him back.
Yeah. Magic makes the point there. If you're making a point about Michael Robinson, for me growing up, was my favourite player. He was my favourite player. And when he signed for Liverpool, he was just brilliant on the wing. And he went to Spain. He became a pundit for Spanish TV, really well-respected pundit as well. And he died there a few years ago. He wasn't that old, but he was just a really, really good out-and-out winger for Ireland. And he had that one season, I think, at Liverpool in 1984, I think.
He became a very respected pundit in Spain, didn't he?
Massively so. Massively so. He was one of the... He was the... how could you put it? The Graham Souness. Yeah. The Graham Souness type pundit in Spanish football. He was Stephen Lennon there makes an incredible man. He really was. I hope it is that it was Michael Robinson you were talking. It could have been Insua as well. I don't know. But I think Michael Robinson was a phenomenal pundit. But he was a very, very good player. You know, and he went on. He did have a really good career in Spain as well. And I think he was probably instrumental in John Aldridge going out to Spain as well. You know, when he did.
Yeah, he loved it. He loved his time in Real Sociedad, didn't he?
Yeah.
Cool. Avo's stole my thunder, Kev, and he's got a sad face. Never mind.
Oh, buddy. It's okay.
I'd like to say we feel sorry for you, but that'd be a lie. Right. So let's talk about press conference then. Did you both see it?
No, but I've read clips of it. So I can't tell you about his body language, but I can tell you what he said.
He was very chipper, wasn't he, Kev?
Who's that?
Slot, he was very chippy.
Yeah.
He was like cracking joke, taking the piss out the language, you know.
He hates talk sport. He hates talk shite with a passion. I love him for that.
I did enjoy his little, like, I have nightmares about Atletico Madrid. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like when he's candid. Like, I like it makes him really likable.
I think someone said Robson did like, super well, and he was like, super well? Is that a thing? He goes, yeah. He goes, and he went, well, he did well. He goes, if he put that shot in the top corner when he came on, so then he'd have done super well. But no, he did well for us. He's definitely one of the ones you've got to earn it off him. He's very good at knocking him down a level. Going, yeah, he did right.
But I think the best bit of that was we made the point of how the media as a whole, are making a big deal about the 450 million that Liverpool has spent this summer, and ignoring the fact that we recouped nearly 300 million in sales, and didn't spend hardly anything last summer. And when you quit, and he made the point, I thought it was very good. We've spent what we've earned. We earned it by winning the league. That allowed us, coupled with the situation, to be able to go and do what we did. And I have no problems with it, And I love the fact that he obviously knows what the media is talking about, and he's going to use his press conference to bite back hard, and he doesn't care.
I feel like he's diplomatic, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, his grasp of English.
I must admit, Klopp was never quite that diplomatic. No. He was short of just saying "fuck off" quite a lot, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that English. I mean, people in the Netherlands do speak English, fairly well, but in the main, but it is his second language. But his grasp of irony and his grasp of sarcasm is fucking delightful.
I love it when he has to sort of like looks to the press and says, "Is this how you say it in English?" Do you? And you're like, you fucking know what that is. That's your way of sort of re-saying the question to go, this is a fucking stupid question, but I'll say it again. So this is what you mean. I quite like it.
Was like someone asked about Curtis Jones.
It was Mo Stewart, I think, and he didn't want to talk about it.
He didn't. And Mo made the point, and fair play to Mo for trying, and he'll try again. He wanted details on the injury, and Stott was like, "Yeah, he's training tomorrow, and he should be available for the weekend. Next question, please."
It's just not a thing he wants to go into.
No, he will not go in. I don't think he'll go into detail about any injury to a player.
He never has.
But to be fair to Slot, though, he tends to like Mo Stewart questions.
Yeah, he does.
Mo asks quite interesting, more tactical questions. And you can see Slotto smirks like, oh, it's almost like someone who's done a bit of research.
Yeah.
All right, okay. And he then gives an interesting answer going, well, this is not a normal press conference answer I give. This is good. Yeah. So, listen. Slot knows the game. They have to ask. But that was the only negative, really, wasn't it? It was that Jones isn't training, but is due back tomorrow. So hopefully we'll be in the squad for Everton. But other than that, that's the only sort of key absentee, really.
That we know of,
That we know of. And, McAllister trained today. Isak trained today. What's your feelings on Isak? Because some of the chat are saying, is he almost saying he's only going to start Isak and then take him off and not going to use him off the bench? I can't see Isak starting. I can see him being a bench option, but he seems to have made it known, Ash, that he's going on and on about him not training, which, we all know why he hasn't trained, but it's almost like he's saying, we've put enough into him now that I feel like he's expecting more than 10-minute cameos.
I mean, I hope that there's not going to be too much more than a 10-minute cameo or a 15-minute cameo. Like, I do hope that we kind of drip feed him in. I don't know. I don't know how ready he is because I don't know what today's modern professional has, 3 or 4 different trainers. They've got nutritionists. They've got all sorts of people. So I know that Isak wasn't necessarily training with a team per se, but it doesn't mean he was not training at all. It's not like in years past when players would go off for like a summer break and they would gain 10 pounds or however many kilos that is.
You leave Jan Mulby alone. He couldn't help it.
No, but like that's not what was going on. He was still training, so he's not going to be completely out of fitness. But I do think that, part of the reason he probably came to Liverpool is because our fitness team is one of the best in the country. And if Isak wants to prolong his fitness and his career, it's a great place to do it. So I think that they're going to be careful with how they use him. Does that mean that I think he starts tomorrow? No. Does that mean that I think he gets minutes tomorrow? Probably. And that's really exciting, especially because it's a home game. It's a European game. The boost that could give, even just having him walk out on the field at the beginning of the game, like he hasn't really had a proper introduction to the Anfield crowd yet. So I don't know if we're going to do some sort of presentation of him at the beginning of the game or anything like that. But that in and of itself can kind of raise the atmosphere just a little bit. I think if he gets 15 minutes tomorrow, I'm happy with that. I want him to be carefully kind of dripped in. I don't want an Arteta approach to players and their welfare and their fitness. I want a very careful approach where we make sure that we're in it for the long haul and we're not just in it for the instant results right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get the impression, Kev, that's how Slot works, but he was very direct when he said there was no point he said it's pointless me having him on the bench for Burnley for him to do 10 minutes. Said I'd rather he does 3 or 4 extra days. He said then I can get 35, 45 minutes out of him in the next game. He was pretty blunt on the fact of if I wait till then, he's had 3 full weeks of our style training. So it says to me, I might be wrong. It says to me he wants him on the bench, but he wants him as an actual option, as in like, right, I need a goal, right, I'm going to throw you on.
I think he knows he needs him. I think he knows he needs him, and the fact that the way he wants to play with a number 9 in the way that Ekitike has been playing all season so far, and he's done really, really well. And you've been consistent in saying this as well. He needs that option on 70 minutes to come on and carry on, not just carry on the work that was done, but kick it on because Ekitike has ran the legs off him. Ekitike has done the hard yards, so that when Isak comes on, he's going to be the one to knock him out of it. And yeah, we'll come to that, Tiernan. Don't worry.
It's going left back. Kev wants Szoboszlai at left back just because it'll piss him off.
No, we don't.
We need Isak available to come in and do that job, do that role for now. And I've no doubt that because he did make the point, and he was at pains in making it, that he's had no proper football in 4 months. Now, I don't care who you are. You can be as fit as you like in the gym. You can run as many laps as you like and have your individual training sessions with your own fitness team and what have you. It's nothing comparing to what a preseason offers you, and it's nothing comparing to what match fitness and match sharpness is going to do. It's going to take a long time, I believe, for Alexander Isak to be anywhere near the Alexander Isak that was lethal against us in the League Cup. When I say long time, I'm talking a couple of months. I genuinely think it takes time for any forward to pick up match sharpness. You can get your fitness, but it's match sharpness, and it's coupled that with new teammates, players who play in a different way, a different system, wingers who feed you in a different way, and they've got to adjust to you as much as you've got to adjust to them. And you've still got to be winning games as well. It's going to be a really difficult trend. On paper, it should be. Everything you know about football, everything I know about watching football, I feel this is going to be a difficult transition for him. But when it kicks in, it's going to be. He'll be absolutely fine. He'll flourish. But I think, I honestly don't think that you sign him, given the circumstances of where he is. You stick him in, and then people are going to expect, oh, you cost this much, you should be scoring goals. It just doesn't work like that.
Well, Florian Wirtz is already getting that.
Yeah, I know. And it is nonsense. But
it is nonsense, but most of it's driven by rival fans, and far too many get hung up. If rival fans talk about our players this much, it's because they're concerned. They don't talk about it when you shit.
Yeah, but mate, the difference is with Florian Wirtz. Florian has had a pre-season. Do you know what I mean? Florian's had a pre-season. He's played a lot of minutes. He's played a lot of games, but he's only starting to see now what the pace of the Premier League really is.
But Isak knows that. Isak knows the pace. He might not be up to the pace, but he knows it.
Exactly. He knows what to expect when he lines up against Everton or when he lines up against whoever we've got coming down the line. He knows what they're going to be like.
And we know he can he's physically capable of dealing with Premier League defenders and things like that. I think with Wirtz, I'm not 100% sure if he's quite there in terms of strength. He will get there. I know everyone for some reason thinks that I'm writing Wirtz off, but I'm not.
We all know you hate him as much as Kev hates Australians.
That's not true. That is a false narrative. That is fake news. Chris, that is fake news.
Well, you started the Kev Australian news, so you know.
Anyways, my point is that I think with Isak, for me, I think it's less complicated than Wirtz. It's as soon as he kind of meets whatever sort of physical thresholds that our fitness team decides, he can then be thrust in kind of at whenever he wants to go in or whenever Slot wants to put him in. I don't think it's going to be quite as big of a transition. I think that, you look at Frimpong, you look at Wirtz, you look at some of these players. I mean, Ekitike has really hit the ground running in a way that I wasn't expecting. But I kind of expect Isak to mirror that. So in the way that Ekitike has been able to just pick right up and be part of our attack, because Isak has this Premier League experience, I would expect him to kind of mirror that impact right away.
I think the one thing that Slot made another thing he made a real point of when he was talking about his fitness was like, look, we want to get him playing 90, get him playing 90 3 games a week, and then get him playing 90 where he can do the 3 games a week, and then press like we want him to press. So it's a process, and that's all it's going to be for probably up until Christmas. I imagine that after Christmas and into the new year, you'll see a player who's settled and established and is going to be an absolute nightmare for opposition sides. And when he's done with you, look at who's coming on to replace him and give him a bit of a rest. And that's what we're hopefully, touch wood, that's what we're going to have.
Yeah. And I also think that I think I made this point on a podcast earlier this week where having a fit Isak that hasn't had the kind of intensity of an August, a September, even an October in his legs is only going to benefit us in the long run because, I get it that it's going to take time to kind of build him up to full match fitness, but it means that he's going to have more in the tank kind of at the tail end, especially knowing that like Mo Salah drops off. He always drops off in the March, April, May area. If you have Isak then picking up at that point, like that's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, Davey makes a point there. Sorry, it always took him 4 to 6 games to get back up to speed after injuries. He's not been injured, but it will take time. But the thing is, 4 to 6 games in this period of football is 2 weeks.
Yeah, which is mental. I mean?
2 weeks. Everything gets done in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so by October he'll be boss. That's all we need.
Exactly.
Right, Ash.
Yeah.
Pick us an 11.
Alisson starts, no problem. Konate and Virgil start, no problem. I think Connor Bradley starts. I think that the Szoboszlai experiment has run its course and is great for, the really kind of pinch moments where we need him at right back, but I don't think that he is.
I saw in the Anfield Wrap that they put the theory out is maybe Frimpong didn't have as much in his legs as they thought. I think perhaps they thought in an ideal world they wanted Bradley for an hour, Frimpong for 30. Maybe he wasn't quite ready, so they went stick with what we know. He did a job there, and then we can start to rotate the 2 fullbacks when they're a bit more up to speed. And I don't know how often Bradley's done 3 games in a row. So
maybe. I mean, I
maybe
think with
it's not about
Frimpong, you don't fuck around with hamstrings, especially with a player whose main kind of big thing is his pace.
especially when he's never had one before, so we don't know how he reacts to one.
So I don't want to rush him back. So I don't want to throw him in immediately. If he has 15 minutes at the end of the game, that's great. So for me, it's Bradley. I think the big call in the back line is does Robertson keep his place, or does Kirkez learn from his lesson on the weekend and come back in? That for me, I'm leaning toward Robertson because I think that Kirkez feels a little bit like a loose cannon right now, in that he's just easily wound up. And I think that if Atletico Madrid saw Kirkez on the team sheet, they would target him immediately and they would say, oh, that's where we're going. Not because he's a bad player, but because mentally I'm not 100% sure he's there yet. So for me, I'm kind of leaning toward Robertson. Just that little bit of kind of shithousery that Atletico Madrid is so good at. Going into midfield.
The only concern with Robbo, though, I suppose, is you probably want Robbo to start the derby.
So what? You can do both.
I think he can do both if you manage it carefully, like 60-30 for both.
Yeah, we saw last year 3 games a week did kill him for.
Well, he's not doing 3 games a week, is he?
Well,
he's doing 60 minutes against Burnley, where we didn't really have to defend. He'll do 60 against Atleti because Kirkez will get the other 30, and he'll start the derby and get 60, and then Kirkez comes on for 30. That's how I think the fullbacks, both sides, are going to work. I don't think any fullback, as long as we don't get red cards or injuries, I think both fullbacks will definitely get changed every game. And the thing is with Robertson, he's done when he played for Scotland, he played almost left centre back in a 3. So he wasn't bombing up and down. And he doesn't really do the bombing up and down stuff. He didn't do the bombing up and down stuff against Burnley either.
No, he did. He was more of a deep cross. I think it was more of a need. I think it's more because the game didn't need that.
No, exactly. So it's not. There's got to be nothing wrong with his legs. And you got to look at the opposition side as well. I honestly think that it'll be Simeone and Llorente on their right. So you need that physical type controlling fullback who can manage two like a right mid and a right winger looking to double up, because Atleti will play a 4-4-1-1 or a 4-4-2, but they'll have a normal right midfielder and a normal right back looking to play on the counter, and Robertson will have to try to manage that. I don't care if he plays Kirkez or not.
I don't either. But I do think that, like, if I'm Simeone and I'm looking at Kirkez, I'm immediately targeting him more from a psychological perspective than a physical perspective.
Yeah, 100%. And it'll more than likely be either Barrios or Simeone, his son, will play on the right side. If it's Barrios, he's one to watch for them tomorrow night, by the way. I think Paulo Barrios is the player that we are going to look at big time if we ever have to replace Alexis McAllister. I mean, he's one of the best young centre midfielders in Spain at the minute. He's a phenomenal little player, 22 years of age as well. He's a special. I came across him about 2 years ago, and ever since then, every time I've watched him, engine, quality. He's got it all. He plays in a 2 in a 4-4-2, and he's just really good in it. I mean, they're kind of a unique kind of side that they will play that 4 across the middle of the park, and Griezmann drops in to try to make it 5. But more often than not, it is a normal flat 4-4-2. So I wonder tomorrow night.
Do you think we'll match it?
I reckon we'll go to a 4-3-3. And play like a 3-man midfield. Do
you think that's going to be Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Wirtz, or do you think that McAllister comes into the equation?
I think he might come off the bench. It depends on his ankle. I mean,
it seems like it's okay based on, but again, that's just sort of like the public messaging that's been put out.
It wouldn't surprise me if Damo come off the bench, to be honest, because it's early in the season. He has played a lot of football, and I honestly think the fitness levels that are required to play at fullback are probably higher than what is required to play in centre mid. In some ways,
I don't think that Szoboszlai struggles with fitness, though.
No, but it's volume. He played massive for Hungary. He's key for them. He played all the games for them. He didn't have to play right back for us, as well as the games he played in midfield as well. It's like you can't play him all the time. So I wouldn't mind if he was the one to drop out and come on the hour or come on in 70 minutes or whatever, but I don't think he will be. I think he'll start as one of the midfield three with Gravenberch in at 6, and he might play with an 8 and a Florian Wirtz in a more advanced midfield role. So I mean, and on paper it'll be 4-2-3-1, but I think Wirtz will be asked to sit on Barrios and stop the ball going into him.
Do a bit of a McAllister.
And kind of make Barrios go back the other way and focus on trying to man mark Florian Wirtz. And ideally, Wirtz takes Barrios out of the game. And that frees up Gravenberch and Szoboszlai to 2v1 against the other centre mid. It might pull Gallagher off the wing as well into midfield. That will allow our fullbacks to be able to exploit that space.
So, I feel like I'm having second thoughts as you're talking.
Oh,
I'm
glad I can contribute.
No, it's good. It's just like you're making me feel like I'm thinking about Slot and the way that he's prepared this team sort of almost in stages, going from the Arsenal game, from the Burnley game to this game. And it makes me wonder if Szoboszlai does start at right back, because this is what we've sort of built. And we've had this defensive solidity that we've created through these teams over the past week or so. And when Connor Bradley came on, we instantaneously became more front-footed. But you're talking about us kind of absorbing pressure. And I'm not 100% sure if that's Connor Bradley's game. And listening to you talk, I'm like, maybe he does go with Szoboszlai again at right back, even though we have a fit right back on the bench, which doesn't make me excited, which doesn't make me feel like Salah is going to get into the game.
That's why I don't think he does.
It makes me think.
That's why I don't think he does it, because I think because we keep chopping and changing our right backs, I think that's actually leaving Salah too isolated, and I think he works better with a Bradley or a Frimpong because they will give him the overlap option.
He does, but we haven't practiced that. We haven't put that into application at all, and because we've had this back line with Szoboszlai for several games in a row now, I almost wonder if he sees it through this kind of run of games, because we've been able to keep a clean sheet for the last 2 games. I mean, I know that we haven't really gotten the balance right. The first couple of games this season, we were very offensive. We were very kind of open on the other end. We saw Bournemouth really exploit that. I almost wonder if he kind of sticks with what he's established and what has kind of created this defensive stability. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And I know Kev doesn't like it at all either.
No, I don't.
But I'm curious now that I'm listening to you talk about the threats that they have.
In fairness, Atletico Madrid have converted Llorente into a right back.
Yeah.
Where he does that role, where he goes from right back into midfield to supplement it. The other thing that they do is they play a centre back at left back in Rugani. And they brought in Hanko as well, who's going to be missing tomorrow night to do the same role. So when they attack, they always leave 3 at the back. So the right back joins into the attack, kind of like ours, where you see it with Kirkes and Robertson. The left back is the last one to go forward and join the attack generally. The right back goes either into midfield or up the wing to link with Salah. Whoever's on the left side tends to wait. And when the trigger goes, when the ball is into their final third, then our left back tends to join in as well to get the extra numbers. But I'm only going on what Footmob have up here as a lineup, and it looks like a flat 4-4-2, but I can see it being a 4-3-3 as well, with Griezmann and Simeone playing with Sorloth in the 9. And Sorloth is not the guy who was at Crystal Palace. You know, he's a much more refined, big man striker now, and seasoned, experienced. He'll be a handful for anyone, and Konate or Virgil will have to really work to win those balls in the air if they do decide to go direct. You know, it's and the thing is, you have to be aware of the second balls around someone like Griezmann that they don't fall to him. So there's so many tactical flexibilities in this game. It's a fascinating game, really, because they're two different styles. We're controlling, dominate the ball, work the possession, try to create the best possible chance to score. Simeone can go so many ways. He's coached that side now for so long. They're so drilled in how he plays. They can go crazy. They can go counter. They can try to dominate. You know, people talk about Arteta and Arsenal potentially being in the favourites for the Premier League because of the longevity of him and their routines of having an established, settled management style. There's no more settled manager in European football than Diego Simeone.
14 years.
Almost to a fault, though.
Yeah.
Like, there are times where people ask, at what point does he continue to not deliver, and at what point does he continue to keep the job? I mean, he is almost a very good comparison to Arteta, in the sense that, yeah, like, what phase of the project is he on? Like, he has the dark arts, he's able to deliver results, but is he delivering enough trophies to warrant? I think he's one of the best paid managers in the entire world. Yeah. I'm pretty sure, if not the best. And it does kind of make you question, like, at what point is he doing enough to kind of stay there?
I think when you're in a league with Real Madrid and Barcelona, the fact that he's won 2 league titles, given the budgets that they have and the budgets that he has, is fair, is good, actually, because
he's got Europa League under his belt as well, hasn't he?
And but I think the fact that he's been in 2 Champions League finals as well, and his budget at Atletico is half of what Madrid spend on an annual basis. The wage bills are half of what he's competing with one hand behind his back in La Liga, and he's competing every single year. They're always knocking about. They're always in the Champions League. They're always competing at the back end of a season. And if I was to handpick an opponent to play tomorrow night, he'd be on the bottom of the list, the absolute root bottom of the list.
I agree with you.
I'd play anybody apart from them.
He'd be right at the bottom next to Real Madrid for me.
Oh, no, I'd love to play Madrid. I wouldn't give a shit. I'd love to play Madrid. This version of Real Madrid, I'd fucking love it. But I look at this lot, and they're Burnley on speed, man. Yeah. Because they can do that as well. And they've got proper players who can do it. Yeah. You know, and they've got players who can hurt you on the counter, and they know how to counter. So, it's going to be a really, really tough game. And I'm through gritted teeth, and I'd be like Davo behind the sofa and looking forward to it. But it's like, I want to be here tomorrow night talking about a win in the start of the Champions League, and I don't care how we get there. It's one of them.
So Ash, front three, nothing changes, does it? I've seen a few of the comments saying throw Rio in to give Gakpo rest, but I just don't think so.
I'm sorry, but you
don't throw
well, he's 17 now.
17,
you don't throw him in for the start of this game. That being said, throw him in at the end, because maybe Atletico's tired legs. He is a threat there. I think if he scores in the next 2 match weeks, or next to whatever of the Champions League, he would become the youngest scorer in that competition, which would be pretty amazing. And I wouldn't put it past him. I really wouldn't. But I think just psychologically, I wouldn't start him. I don't think he's there yet in terms of defensive output. Like, at the end of the game, when the opposition defense is tired and he can just kind of run at them with his step-overs, that's a completely different story than when you're asking, in this case, Gakpo, to kind of do a lot of the heavy lifting that's kind of going backwards. He's just not there yet. He will get there, but I don't want to rush that on him, and I don't want to put that pressure on him. He's fantastic. Like, he's absolutely fantastic, and his time will come, but don't rush it. Don't rush it.
I think he's just an ideal impact sub.
He is, and that's fine. I mean, that's exactly what you want for him. You don't want to rush it for him. He's young. I don't know where his fitness is at for like 70 minutes in adult men's football either. We've only ever seen him kind of like at 20 minutes at a time. So
I think he'll start the League Cup. I think that'll be a good.
Yeah, possibly.
I think that'll be exciting.
You think about Atletico and how physical they are. Like, the last thing in the entire world that I want to see is Rio and Gamoa coming on and getting scythed down by someone in an Atletico Madrid shirt that is just in it for like the Simeone kind of dark arts of it all. And that's what could happen. And that's the last thing I want to see. I think that you kind of have to protect him. I don't know if this is the game for him. That's all, and that's not because I don't think he's brilliant. That's just because I want to protect him because he's 17 years old.
I mean, Sam Tandy's saying, but I think there's a reason Slot picked Rio over Chiesa for Champions League squad. Otherwise, he may as well have played in the under-19.
I think he's a bigger impact sub than Chiesa.
That's what I think it is.
Yeah.
I think that raw pace scares everyone.
If you level it kind of down to the ground, forget about the age, forget about anything, I think that Slot sees him as a bigger impact sub. But that doesn't mean that he's a better overall player yet. It just means that, in the games that, I don't know, hopefully that we're leading at like the 60th or 70th minute, then Rio comes on and then kind of eases the pressure. I just don't think that he's ready to kind of take on the mantle of like a Gakpo right off the bat. I mean, he will soon.
I mean, to be fair to him, he always comes on when we're drawing or losing and seems to make an impact anyway. So it's what we want.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, he's brave as hell. He's brave as hell. Like, he doesn't get fazed by the fact that anyone is more aggressive than him. I mean, nobody seems to catch him. I love the way that he can kind of dribble on a surface that even senior players find difficult. There's lots to like about his game, but I'm just saying there's a big difference between Gakpo as a senior player and Rio as an emerging senior player, I'll say. I don't think he's a youth player anymore. I think he's just emerging. And I think that we just have to be careful about how we nurse him into the game, the same way that we're nursing Isak into the game. And both are for their own good. It's not because I deny their capabilities or what they could provide for the game. It's because I genuinely want to care for their well-being in the long term, because this is about the entire season and not just about tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But the other thing you got to look at is tomorrow, and there's a quick turnaround to the derby as well. Yeah. Saturday morning, 11 or 12:30 kickoff. I think the forwards picked themselves, obviously. It's a case of how does he manage the minutes off the bench to look. I think Mo probably definitely does 90. I wouldn't be surprised if Gakpo does 75. Rio might come on for 15, and Ekitike comes off on the hour or on 70 for Isak to come on for 20. And I think you then look at the two fullbacks as probably being changed, or a fullback with McAllister coming on into midfield, depending on game situations and everything like that as well. But yeah, we've more than enough to win this tomorrow night. The only thing you look at their midfield, we know Conor Gallagher. He's a really good engine, really good player. We know everything about him. Koke is still knocking about at Atletico Madrid as well. You'd think he's probably the one. Yes, very, very experienced, but the longer the game goes on, you'd think that the more that we try to dominate the ball and to move it and pass it quickly and run at him from time to time, he might be the one that you could entice into yellow cards. You need a strong referee for tomorrow night as well. I don't know who it is, but you need a referee who's not going to be overawed by an Italian referee, Mazzio Mariani. So it's a marquee game as well, So you assume
Maurizio Mariani.
Yeah, you assume that UEFA has put up a top referee for this one. So, and look, the other thing about this as well, Athletic, they are not going to be overawed by playing at Anfield. No, not by any stretch.
Well, they've played there before.
Exactly.
And they've won at
And
Anfield.
there's a good chunk of this squad that are still there.
Yeah.
I think there's only three of our lads that are there. Is it 3 or 4 that are there from the first time round, the pre-COVID game?
I mean, you're talking Robertson, Gomez. Was Virgil there at that time? I mean, maybe Allison.
Yeah, so the last time when we beat them 2-0, which was not the COVID, it was a group stage.
Yeah.
Allison, Van Dijk played. Who else was there? Salah played. And I think that's it, really, because the rest of... Ibu was on the bench. And, Jesus Christ, Nat Phillips on the bench. Jesus Christ, that's scary.
Oh, gosh. Well, thankfully, we've moved on from those times.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. And someone made the point earlier on.
What a shudder.
I know, there's definitely a shudder of fear there.
Yeah, this is not the Atletico Madrid of, 2019, 2020. No. They're not on that level. They're a different side. They're still technically brilliant. They're still really, really good. They've still got the dark arts. They're still horrible bastards. But they're not what they were. They're 1 win and 4 in the league this season.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, that was at the weekend. It was a 2-0 win, I think. So they're not what they were, but neither are we. We're not anywhere near where we're going to end up. We're still feeling our way into this season as well. So that's another factor to throw into this as well. Yes, we've won 4 games in the league, and yes, we've done it all late, and we've got great fitness levels, and we're getting winners, and we never give up and what have you. That's all well and good, and that's great, and that's fine. But we're still in a situation where we're feeling the process out. So tomorrow night is a massive acid test for where the squad is at the minute. I think we'll find out a lot about ourselves tomorrow night.
Cool. Right. Ashley, if you're still there. No, Kev, Finn, give us a score prediction.
I think I'll go with 2-0 win. I love the idea of keeping 3 clean sheets. Yeah, I love the idea of keeping 3 clean sheets. The one player I didn't mention for them, who's an absolute ridiculous player, criminally underrated, is Jan Oblak. Someone mentioned him in the chat earlier on. He's one of the best keepers of this generation, without question. And he will be protected. Our delivery into the final third has to be spot on. But I think we'll get enough chances in this one. I'll go 2-0. I'll go with Ekitike and Gakpo.
Okay. Ash, your score prediction and goal scorers? O'Sheen's got 2-1. Ekitike, Gakpo, and Griezmann. Bob Paddock has got 3-0. Isak 2 and Wirtz. And Megan has got 2-0. Mo and Gakpo.
I mean, I'd like to clarify for Red Steve, I have no issues with ice, thankfully. They did not get me. I just had some issues with my my internet.
John's yacht got in the way of the satellite.
Yeah, the satellite just kind of, got in the way.
His yacht was in the way.
Have a word, will you? Just tell Linda.
I will do my best. She's busy. She's got clothing and stuff to buy. I'm going to go Mo Salah gets back on the score sheet. I think he's had a couple of quiet games. I think that he gets back on. And then I think Ekitike gets the benefit of some sort of fantastic little interplay from Wirtz, maybe Mo. I think it's going to be 2-1. I think that we're going to win. I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet despite our best efforts. I just think that they're cleverer than Burnley. And I look at Burnley and I look at Arsenal and I still feel like we were a little bit vulnerable on the attack there, and had either team possessed a little bit more quality, I think they would have scored. And I think that Atletico do possess that quality. So yeah, I'm with Freedom Journey in terms of the 2-1 score. I don't think that Wirtz is going to get a brace, but that would be fantastic. I would love that.
I mean, maybe he's been getting close.
Maybe you do see Wirtz kind of coming back into his own, though, kind of playing more with the European competition. I do think the Premier League opponents are a little bit more difficult to deal with. So maybe you see him coming into his own a little bit in this, and that would be lovely.
Yeah. I'm going to go 2-0, Salah and Wirtz. I'm going to go 2 red cards as well. One for an
Two
Atletico
red
player.
cards.
One for an Atletico player, and then Simeone getting sent off because he'll be fucking fuming as a player being sent off, because that is very Simeone. And then there'll be an amazing gif of Slot laughing.
That would be great.
That's the full scenario.
I do feel like Slot deserves his kind of like full circle moment with Simeone. I feel like he deserves like a win after all that he's talked about. So that would be fantastic.
Yeah. So cool. Right. Before we go, anything you guys want to mention before we go? Any news? Any gossip? Have Man United
are there any results from today's European action that has really shocked you?
Yeah. Union Saint-Gilloise.
Okay.
Union Saint-Gilloise picking up a 3-1 away win to PSV Eindhoven.
That's McAllister's brother, right?
Yes.
Yep.
The other
Kevin.
Lost McAllister.
Kevin. Yeah, that says it all. I again picked the wrong match. So basically, I endured the Arsenal game, which was dull as dishwater. And I thought I'll just leave the Real Madrid game on because it's just the next game on. It was shit. And I instead should have watched Juventus, who drew 4-4.
And Lloyd Kelly's came on and scored the last minute winner. He started. He conceded a penalty, and he scored the last minute winner.
So it's what Karabag have beaten Benfica.
I believe that's true.
Yeah, 3-2.
Oh, wow.
And unfortunately, we have to face them.
Yeah.
So that was supposed to be one of our easy games.
Yeah, Tottenham beat Villarreal 1-0, and it was comfortable. It was an own goal.
Have you seen the goal?
Oh, it was an own goal, but it was.
Oh, it's right at the keeper, and he goes to catch it, and basically drops it onto his own legs and throws it in.
All right.
I didn't see.
I only came into it late, but I came into it at about 20 minutes. But Spurs looked really, really comfortable. It's like Arsenal. Arsenal tonight won 2-0 away at Athletic, and they were really comfortable.
They were tight until like the 75th minute.
Yeah,
and then the subs actually changed the game. Trossard and Martinelli, out of all of the players, came on and both of them changed the game.
Yeah,
took his goal well. To be fair, Martinelli actually.
Yeah, for all of their huff and puff, Bilbao had 2 efforts on goal at home. So I think Arsenal are really well prepared for a Champions League run this season because of how stingy they are at the back. When it comes down to the back end of the Champions League, that the sides with a strong defense have a real chance, and they don't concede many, and they don't concede. They don't give up many chances. They're kind of like us in that way. We don't give up as many good chances, and yeah, there was. I was surprised at the Saint-Gilloise one. When we came onto the pod, the Juventus game was 4-2. Juventus Dortmund was 4-2. They scored in the 94th and 96th minute. To get it back.
It's one to watch a match of the day tomorrow, put it that way.
Yeah, 100%. Get the highlights up for that.
Yeah, so cool.
I'm still alive.
I thought you had enough. Have you spoke to John? Is John still looking for his credit card?
He's in the middle of a clam bake right now, so I can't really talk to him.
Oh dear.
You don't mess about with him and clams, I'm telling you.
No, he's like, they're stuffed clams. We can't touch them. They're coming off of
I'm just having a look to see where the games are tomorrow night.
I'd love to have watched PSG Atalanta if it wasn't on the same time as our game.
Yeah. Bayern Chelsea would be good.
Yeah.
The 2 early kickoffs: Olympiacos against Piraeus, Slavia Prague against Bodo Glimt. The other games: Ajax against Inter Milan, and ourselves, Atletico, Bayern, Chelsea.
Bayern Chelsea is probably the pick of the bunch.
Yeah.
And Thursday is Newcastle home to Barca. That'll be a good game.
That will be good.
Well, City Napoli.
City Napoli
would be good. Newcastle Barcelona.
I don't like this whole Thursday includes Champions League games. It just throws me for an absolute loop.
Yeah, but I think they want to try to give Europa League and Conference League a focus of a week where, clubs are, where they are the focus. Because I think that they have to try to do something to generate interest in this competition because nobody gives a shite about it until it gets to the last 8.
I think there was more prize money in it. That was probably also
it's killing
some interest.
It's killing that competition with the sides not dropping down. Because when the sides were dropping down, you're always going to get a decent sized club who finished third in their group, who was a big shock. They go down and they bring TV audiences. The Europa League and the Conference League now are standalone competitions, and they have to stand alone in their own right. And I think they're struggling.
Don't you think it's kind of shitty though that so for example, on Sunday Arsenal play Man City. Arsenal have had basically 2 full days more recovery than Man City. That doesn't feel right to me at all.
No, it doesn't.
No.
That needs to be taken in. That's a huge fixture.
Yep.
For us, for, the league title, all of that, that doesn't feel right to me at all. The fact that we have to face a team on Wednesday night and then we also have the early kickoff on Saturday doesn't feel right at all either. I know that there's always a little bit of friction between the European games and the Premier League games, but especially that Arsenal City game, just given what it means for the league, that feels really off to me.
Yeah, I just don't think they get to control or what the fixture list that UEFA dish out. I mean, David's making a point there that Newcastle play Thursday night and then they go to play Bournemouth on the Sunday at 2:00. Again, a really tough turnaround, but you've got the extra few hours, and the fact that Newcastle are at home against Barcelona, it could easily have been a case that Newcastle were playing away Thursday night somewhere in Central Europe, and instead of going back to Newcastle, they come back, stayed in the Southampton or Bournemouth area, trained locally for a day and played there, and then flew home on the Sunday night. Yeah, shitty for the fans, but it's like, any trip from Newcastle to Bournemouth at any time of the year is going to be shitty. It's just like it's probably the biggest distance covered for an away trip in the Premier League is Newcastle. No, it won't
Sunderland
be.
is going to be up there,
Sunderland
right?
Will be up there, but it'd be one of them anyway. So I think any trip that Newcastle make to the South Coast is going to be a shitty one. At least you got a home game on the Thursday night. And
I don't know.
Friday's a recovery, Saturday is a flight down, and Sunday you play.
Just hope you don't get Torquay away in the League Cup, because that'll just
Exeter.
Or Exeter. Judge, when we had Exeter years ago, you're like, where even is it?
That was Klopp. Was that Klopp's first dose of the FA Cup, where he had to do the interview in the tea room or something?
He just said, "I'm looking for a coffee cup."
I mean, Southampton isn't exactly close, but it could be worse, I guess.
It was so funny because they asked Klopp next, and he said, "I now have a map of the UK in my office, so I can work out where it is." Because
Johnny Rico puts in a good point there. I'm going to throw that up there.
Cool.
Arsenal have 114 hours rest. We have 62.
Yeah,
that's silly.
It is, but I'm pretty sure that throughout the 8 games of the group phase, it will flip.
Yeah,
it does.
It's worth keeping an eye on.
It will definitely worth keeping an eye on, and that's a really good, Johnny. That's a really good
point. Yeah,
good maths, Johnny.
So keep an eye on that one.
Johnny, if you want to come back and give us the math on that as we go through, that would be fantastic, because it would save me a lot of time.
It would be worth keeping an eye on that one. But I think 62 hours. Look, it's not ideal. We used to always hate it when you played European football and you get the Saturday morning kickoff. It sucks, it is, but you get the big TV money. You're dictated to by the TV companies as to when they put your games on. Yeah, it ain't fair, but it's the price of being successful, and it kind of grates a bit when you complain about it after, because you're happy enough to take the money, and there's a reason why they want Liverpool playing on 11:30 when they can get it. And the other side of it is, I reckon Merseyside Police would have had a big say on when that game takes place, or what time of day that game takes place.
I'm also like, can we just say like it's complete bullshit that you have games like Everton versus Liverpool on the same weekend that you have Arsenal versus City. Like,
yeah, they kind of do that though. Like last weekend was a lot of derbies.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
the
whole randomness of the whole thing. It's just
they ain't fucking random.
Can we just cut through it and just say like, yes, it's strategically placed. Like I get it. It's not. You know, we're not trying to give anyone an advantage, but it is strategically placed.
Oh, like, Madge is 100% right. Player welfare is compromised.
Of course it is.
Player welfare, UEFA and FIFA have never met in the same room. You know, they just haven't.
I mean, you know what? Now that you mention it, because we haven't talked about it, what do you guys think about the fact that they're getting rid of the 2 international breaks? Speaking of player welfare, because that is the kind of overarching theme that they're using to try to sell this.
I don't mind it, but I'd rather they got rid of the September one.
Well, they're technically combining September and October into one. But so you could argue they're getting rid of one or the other.
I hate the 3 games and then the league ends. I'd rather you'd have a nice run in August.
So that's what they're going to do. They're going to do a nice run in September, and then at the very end of September, they're going to take 3 weeks off and do a combination of both international breaks, the September and October. So they get combined at the very end of September, and then you go right back into the league. So instead of getting like 3 games at the beginning, you get like 5 or 6.
It'd be great for when you want to sack a manager as well. That'd be the perfect time to do it.
I think you could end up with a situation where the Premier League and the League Cup will get bombed into the first weeks. Really, you know, they'll try to get as many games in early as possible, and then I like the idea of having, if you're going to have an international break, get them playing 4 games over. Is it over 3 weeks?
Yeah. So it's all they're instead of 2 games and 2 games, they're going to squish it all 4 games together.
I kind of like that because if they're going away, they travel once.
Yeah.
And then they're in their region, they're traveling with their country, and then they come back. I like that. And
I assume that there will be some concession in terms of, you know, our old Fergie trick of, he's got a niggle. Can he miss this? Can he miss this game? Which, look, all clubs do it. We've done it. We all have.
Yeah, but if it's a 3-week break, it's a hard.
If it's a 3-week break, I think it's going to be if you all are selected, and it's the international medical staff to say, no, we can't play. You have to have almost like not miss. I've got a tight hamstring. So I think that's where.
I mean, I think if you're Frimpong, and let's just say that the break was where it was this year, I think Frimpong would probably sit out. If you're McAllister, you'd probably go.
Yeah.
So
I think it's one of those you got to see it. You got to see it happen, and I think it'll change depending on when tournaments are in the calendar. If you end
they've
up
argued that this has to do with the late World Cup, but it's going to carry over. So it's going to carry over beyond just the year with the late World Cup. So I think 2026 has the latest World Cup where like a lot of the games are in July. And that's kind of the argument why they're starting it, but it's going to continue from there. Yeah. So,
but I also think you're going to end up with an expanded European Championships in 2028.
Yeah,
and potentially a further expanded World Cup in 2030. And granted, that's going to be a summer one, but the next World Cup after that is 100% going to be a winter one.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I just want, see how it happens. As much as people don't like international football, and I get it, the qualification periods have to happen. I'd rather have them happen in a period of the season where they're grouped together and we can just get it done.
Davey T's just said a Sheffield United player has just gone all the way to Australia and has sat on the bench for the whole of it.
Yeah. Well, he's coming back. He's got a new manager. Was an old manager. He was an old manager.
They must just kind of be doing double takes every time they go.
Yeah.
Someone said,
Just like, you again.
Do you reckon he's actually saying like, but I want continuous service?
He just went on sabbatical.
I'll be back in 6 months. So
I feel like he doesn't even clear out his locker. He's just like, I'm going to be back. So like, I'm just going to leave my coffee cup can stay.
I reckon he's been sat there with a new manager going like, I'm not moving away. I'll be back in 6 months. So I'll just sit here on my iPad.
I'm just going to be like this shadow looming in the background.
87 days. And look, as much as I don't like him, and I don't like him, it was an absolute thundering disgrace that he was sacked. Thundering disgrace that he was sacked.
Did he get into the playoff finals?
He got 92 points.
That was it, yeah.
And they ended up getting a points deduction, and they missed out on promotion. It was a disgrace that Chris Wilder got sacked from that job. And I love it, the fact that the owners come out, we want to take the club in a different direction.
Down.
I feel like that the minute that you say that, you're screwed.
You are,
the minute you say that. Unless your change of direction guarantees you record points and promotion, you're right. You're done because you can't. It's like Glasgow Rangers wanted to go in a different direction. Yeah, they are. They're heading to League One in Scotland. 100%. The longer that muppet stays in charge.
Oh, it's so fun.
It'll be beautiful.
Honestly, watch fan cam reactions for Rangers fans at the moment. Honestly, some of the stuff they come out with about this manager is comedy gold. It's unbelievable. Anyway, listen.
Yeah, let's go.
It's 20 past 11. I'm up for work in 6 hours, so I better go and have a rest. So, thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe, please become a patron, and don't forget our partner NordVPN. So also sign up with them because that also does us a favour. Until then, I've been Chris, that's been Ash, and that's been Kevin. We will see you all tomorrow for the reaction show. See you later. Bye. Take us out.